Hello and welcome to another bodgit and leggit video. Today we are doing a service on a 06 1.4 Toyota Corolla vvti. Like I always say, make sure the engine's up to running temperature, nice and hot. We'll do the oil and filter first. So I've just cracked the actual bottom nut and try and not get covered in oil. I didn't. Lucky enough I can let it go because there's little gauze in the bottom of this so the plug won't go. Now as we can see, the oil is quite black for a petrol and it is very thin as well, so we know it is due a change. Right next to it, or so right beside it, is the oil filter, which is tight. Let that drain away. Now what I'm using for the oil filter is this adjustable oil filter wrench remover. So in these cars you don't have a lot of room, so hopefully I can do it with this, but I might not be able to because there's just no room in these tires. So I'm going to try and screw it on the best I can. Only a little filter, and try and turn it. Unfortunately, I might have to use something else. One more try. Nope. They're just in an awkward, stupid place. No. Right, so what I'm going to use instead of the other oil filter ratchet is this fella on the chain. They're very good, as you can see. As you tighten them, the chain gets smaller and that's what basically gets them off. So you need to get it on the filter, twist, can be a bit awkward. Twist it on the filter. Let it grip, which it has done now. It can damage the filter, but I was taking it off with. Right, that's done it. I have to say, that was stupidly tight. Whoever put that on wants a bullet. The problem with that type of oil filter ratchet is it damages the filter. Now obviously we're okay. I'm going to show you the filter now once I get it off. I don't get it covered in oil first. I don't know if you can see that, but it's basically caved in the whole side of the filter. Not a problem once you're taking off and replacing it, but if you have to take that off for some reason and you've literally just put it on a few weeks ago, a few days ago, and you use that type of chain oil filter ratchet, it will damage it. The first one I use won't damage it, so bear that in mind. Now, not a big deal, you can replace it if you do damage it, but it's just annoying if you just literally put it on. Alright, so what we need to do, we put the new one on. First off, make sure it's the right one, make sure the threads are right, obviously. If you've got the right one, get some oil and put it over the rubber seal. Just makes it easier if you take it off the next time. And screw it hand tight. Do not put anything on this. No machines, no filter ratchets, anything. Go out that way. Just hand tight. Because that's all you need. Right, what you also need to do is just give everything a good wipe, make sure there's no oil left, because then you know if you've got an oil leak, you know it's a fresh one and you know you can do something about it. Right, see if I can try and show you where that filter was. There's nowhere else to get in otherwise, but as you can see, there's the filter and there's the sump plug and there's the filter. There's just no room to get to it in there. Now, I know I always bang on about oil, but believe me, it is vitally important you get the right oil for your engine. I'm using 530 semi-synthetic for this one, and it is the Volkswagen, the Toyota spec. The slightly new engines do take the fully synthetic, but these ones in this climate take the semi. And it also does depend on your climate. If you're in a hot climate or cold climate, it's different oil for the same engine. So you need to kind of figure out, or look in the manual or do something what oil you need for your particular climate. So I'm going to put 3.5 litres in first, and I know that's going to be enough for me to start it, and then it's going to fill the oil filter. Then I can dip it again once I've done that to see if I need to add more. It's going to be in and around 3.5, 4 litres. I'm not 100% sure yet, but it's going to be in and around there. Once I've done this, I'm going to start the car, wait for the oil light to go off, wait about 30 seconds after that, stop the car, wait about 30 seconds for the oil to settle, and then dip it, and then see where we need to go after that. Right, the dipstick, let that settle. And obviously on this dipstick you can see there's two little marks. The bottom one is the min, the top one is the max. Normally on a car from 2 litre down, between the minimum and max is normally about 1 litre. If you've got a bigger engine than a 2 litre, it can be a bit more, but that's kind of the norm. But if you're unsure, you just put in ½ litre at a time, because it's easier to add more than it is to take away. As we can see, we are just over the minimum mark. Hopefully that's coming through, so I need a bit more oil. I'm going to put about ½ litre in it this time and see. You've also got to remember, when you look at the manuals, it'll tell you exactly how much oil you need, but it's difficult to go off that because you will not get every single drop of oil out of your car. It's impossible. So never really go off the manual. The manual will give you an idea, but what I'm trying to say is, if the manual says, or the internet says, or something says you need 4 litres of oil, don't put 4 litres of oil, because you could have ½ litre too much. Depending on your engine, you will have about ½ litre to 1 litre of oil left in your engine, and you just can't get it out. So just be careful of that. I'm just going to let that settle for a little bit more. Just say we need a tiny bit more, but we'll let that settle just to see if we do, and why that will do the air filter. Now, simple enough on these. You have to lift these 2 pins up, so you've got 2 pins, one side, one the other side. And as you lift it up, you have to slide it towards the wing of the car, and then it just lifts up. As we can see, it is a bit minging. Blow the inside of that out, but to be fair, there's absolutely nothing in there, but if there was, get an airline or a hoover, blow that out. Now, as you can see on the corner of one of the corners, we've got 3 rounded corners and 1 kind of squarish corner. Oh, it's just there. It's not as rounded as the other corners. And there is a right way to put this in, so you need to get that the right way, otherwise it won't seal properly, and that's the way it goes. Now we've got to make sure you get the 2 bottom clips down there in, to push that down and hold it down with this hand, push these clips towards the engine now, both sides, and then push them down like that. If you try and push them down without pulling them towards you or pulling away, you're going to break them. So that's now done. So we'll just check the oil level now. Yeah, we still need a tad more. Half a cupful. Now, this should be it. As we can see, we're absolutely bang on the mark. There we go. Now the oil is nice and clean, so we replace that horrible black oil. What I want to do now is check all the brake levels. Just wobble that, and you'll see where it wobbles to where the minimum and maximum mark is. That's okay. And then I want to top up the water bottle. Now, unfortunately, I didn't have the camera on when I was filming, or I thought I was filming. I just topped up the water washer, the windscreen wiper washer, with a bit of windscreen wiper detergent and water. I've also checked the radiator for antifreeze. Now, you do have to be careful with these Toyotas. If you used to take the radiator cap off when it's hot, it's under pressure and it can blow up and absolutely burn you. So you want to be careful of that. So only kind of test these when they're cold. It's good for -23, so we're okay there. All I've done now is I've taken off the engine cover, which is here. 2 10mm bolts at the top, and the cover comes off. And as you can see, we've got individual coil packs. Now, the 10mm to take them off, and you can do one at a time, or you can do all 4. It just depends whatever you're most comfortable with. You can't really mess up with these because they can only go in one place. So, I'm going to take off all 4 bolts first to loosen the coil packs. There's 2 bolts at the end we need to, well, 1 bolt in the middle and 1 bolt at the end to take off. There's a little, where the wires go into the little conduit along the side of the engine, that's bolted down too, and we can't get the coil packs out enough if we don't undo that. So as you can see, we just can't get this out enough. There's a 10mm bolt just in here in the middle. So undo that. 10mm nut, should I say. And one right at the end here. Don't drop the spanner, I just did. Now what that allows us to do, as you can see, this has to come out, is take all these off, and like I said, you can't really get them wrong. Now we can get down to the actual plugs themselves. You need a 16mm spark plug spanner. I'm using a long extension and a 3/8 drive. I always use a 3/8 drive on spark plugs because a 1/2" drive is just too big and you can damage or cross thread them very, very quickly if you do. Where a 3/8 drive is a lot smaller, a lot harder to put a lot more pressure on it. Now, as we can see, they are a biscuit colour, which is a good colour. But as you can see in the middle, the electrode is very, very worn. There's a big, huge gap there. As we can see against our new one, the gap is a lot smaller and the electrode is a lot bigger. I don't know if that's coming through, hopefully it is. Also, what you need to check is make sure that the threads are the same size. Make sure they're both 16mm. One's not bigger or smaller than the other because the plugs have to be the same. If this one is longer and goes in the head more, the pistons can hit and you can just cause serious damage. Now, they're not the same make, so I can't compare the numbers, but that's not really the big deal. It's just making sure everything else is the same. And we know it is. Now, you have to, don't just drop that down, because if you push the electrode closer, it won't fire properly. There is a little rubber seal in this socket. It's not great, as you can see, it's just fallen down, but it's fallen into the hole, so we're okay. The other good thing is you need to twist these by hand, all the way, as far as you can. Don't put the ratchet on it straight away. Give them a good few twists by hand, because you can very easily cross-thread these, and if you cross-thread them, you're in trouble. Now, I've turned that a good bit. He's now getting tight, so I know we're not cross-threaded. I know we're okay. What I like to do then is put the ratchet back on. And I don't like to use the end of the ratchet, so I'm not going to do here because I can put too much pressure on. I'm going to put my hand right at the top of the ratchet and just twist. Just a couple of twists. Now that's it. That's all you need to do. If you start doing this, you can over tighten them, you can wring the threads, and you're going to be in serious trouble. You don't need to do it. I'm going to do the other three now. There's no point in me filming because it's exactly the same. Do the other three. Once I've got them in, we'll put the coil packs back on. Now another good thing to do is just check all four of your old plugs, make sure they're all the same colour and they're all more or less the same wear, because if they're different colours and different stuff, it means you might have problems in different cylinders. These are all the same colour and they're all okay, they're all the same wear, so we know the engine is okay. Now we've done all them, so we're ready to put these back and literally just get them all kind of lined up. Line them in, make sure you get the actual cowl at the back in place first. You can all just kind of clip into place. Now put the two little 10mm bolts on first. Now just as when we do this, it's best not rev your engine, just like when you change the oil when you start your engine. Don't rev it, just kind of let it tick over. Because what we want to make sure is we need to start this again once we put these on, just to make sure the engine is running and not missing. Make sure it's still running fine, so we know we're okay. Now, they're in. These on this. So all the lights are got off, it's not missing, it's sounding nice. So we know we haven't got a problem with that. Now all I'm going to do is just put the cover back on. So look, simple as that really, nothing to it. Service on it. So I hope it helps. Thumbs up and subscribe, and don't forget, get your hands dirty. See you for the next one.